Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a frigid episode of Cuz You Don't Know Football. We in week 6. We're getting through this season kind of fast. We need this to slow down a little bit. We got your boy Tazar coming on. You know what I'm saying? We got to get through the actual factuals of all of this. You know what I'm saying? And he about to hear some shit. You know what I mean? And that's just how it's going to have to go. How you been, man? You've been away too long, man. First and foremost, man. Welcome back, man. You got any
Thank you for
updates for
having
us?
me. Thank you for having me.
Cause you one of them world travelers, exciting lives having people. You know what I mean? So
I'm a regular dude.
see, that's what exciting world traveling people say. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
Either way, today, of course, we going to talk about some select games in week 6. We're gonna talk about week 7 games, and then I got some. I just want your thoughts on some teams and where they at. I'm curious what you think about them. Okay.
Okay.
Don't worry, none of them teams is your Ravens. Okay, I'm not
No,
even.
my Ravens. We could talk about my Ravens. My
I'm not
Ravens.
doing that to you because you know what I'm saying. 'Cause I love you. You know what I'm saying. You like a brother to me.
Listen,
So you know what I'm saying. I just want you to know, keep in mind. Everybody don't know this. I was supposed to save lives, and I chose you. You see what I'm saying? That's all. I just wanted them to know that
oh
happened.
man,
Okay. So either way, let's just jump right into it. Let's start with the Thursday night game, the shocker. The Giants beat up on the Eagles 34-17. I don't care if it was in New York. That shocked me. Right. Losing team. Jalen Hurts was 23 or 24 33, 283 yards, one touchdown, one pick. Saquon had 12 carries for 58 yards, no touchdowns. Jalen Hurts had the rushing touchdowns. Or he had one rushing touchdown, at least. Dallas Goddard, 9 receptions, 110 yards, one touchdown. Whoever had him in fantasy is happy. AJ Brown had 6 receptions, 80 yards, no touchdowns. Did they have any picks or sacks? They did have a sack. Patrick Johnson had a sack. He was the only one with a sack, and they had no picks. And then my man Jackson Dart, my man, you see my man's chain, yo? My man is blinged out. I feel like you gotta hit him hard because he wears that chain and it's so loud. Like that would piss me off as a defender. He was 17-25, 195 yards, one touchdown, no picks. Cam Scatterboo, 19 carries, 98 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And Jackson Dart had a rushing touchdown. Wandale Robinson had 6 receptions for 84 yards and a touchdown. And what did they have? Brian Burns had 2 sacks. What's up? What's up? Darius Masal, he had a sack. Let's see. And uh, Cordell Flott had a pick too. So what the hell happened with these Eagles in these Giants? The Giants for real, or the Eagles now is just suspect?
I'm not gonna agree with either one of those statements. You gotta remember this is a divisional game, and although the Eagles are a better franchise, they even split last year. Um, so you can't really count the divisional games to go like they're supposed to. You can't like these divisional games. Something always happens one way or another. I don't know if it's Vegas. I don't know if it's sports entertainment. It might just be rivalry. It might be the teams knowing each other. The Eagles do have a wrinkle in their system. They haven't been the same since they changed offensive coordinators. That's evident. Like their offense coordinator is now the head coach of the Saints, and I believe he's doing pretty good. Um,
I mean, pretty good is. I mean, for the Saints, maybe, but they're not. They don't have a good record. I think they
I
won.
mean, they won one game, but I um I wasn't counting on them to win any games, to be honest with you. Like they haven't fixed or filled any of their holes. As far as I mean, Alvin Kamara, he's done. Chris Olave, he's decent, but this kid Spencer Rattler, he's looking promising. They're calling him the new the new Mahomes. I
Uh,
still think the old Mahomes
it's
is
just a
there,
light
but
skinned, weird looking kind of thing. You know what I mean? That's
yeah,
just
but listen, but my man puts up numbers. Spencer Rattler, he's doing decent, especially having I mean,
all right, all right, all right. I got you, I got you. But stay on the Eagles and the Giants.
yeah. I think that offense coordinator was way more important than the Eagles thought he was. Um they do have every weapon in the world. Everyone's healthy, but they look like a completely different team. At the end of last year, they looked like the best team. They were going to be the best team in football. They let some key position players go because they had young talent coming in. But for some reason, somehow, some way, they always draft like the best players. Like that first round linebacker they got, I love him. What's his name? I like the
Oh, you're
first
talking
round.
about keep talking. I know who you're talking about.
I,
He
I
won
like the
he
first
won at
round.
56. And my man from out of Penn State. I can't think of his name.
I like the first round draft from the Giants and the Eagles. I like Abdul Carter and
Abdul Carter. That's who it was.
Abdul Carter for the Giants.
Are you talking about the first round linebacker from the Eagles?
Yeah,
Okay.
I like him too. It but it all come it literally. I don't think that those players that they lost are as big a deal as that offensive coordinator going somewhere else because you still got your key offensive players and they're just not producing it. The play calling nothing is going right for them.
Well, yeah. So that's the problem when you change the offensive coordinator. Um, the offensive coordinator is implementing what they're comfortable with, as opposed to what was already happening. So something, for instance, culturally that would be a problem is blocking schemes. So if you're used to your guards pulling and that's where you're successful, now all of a sudden if you doing more zone blocking schemes, the guy that's good at pulling may not be as good as or at zone blocking. So they got to figure that out. My major problem with the Eagles, though, for me, I'm not liking their defensive line right now. I've been like, no. So Jalen Hurts, I do understand what people are saying about Jalen Hurts. I get it. You have to put him in a situation where it's easy for him to make decisions. And I feel like the last offensive coordinator was immaculate at that. He put him in good situations to make decisions. This guy is he got to figure Jalen Hurts out. He got to figure out that offense. So that and that defensive line. I'm not gonna go too deep on this because I don't. I think this is more about the Eagles than the Giants because I just don't think the Giants are gonna still do too much this year. But um, I the one thing that I don't like that I'm shocked about is the Eagles' defensive line. I'm not seeing control there.
Yeah, I Jalen Carter last year seemed like he was going to be the best defensive tackle in football.
Well,
This
it's the
year,
whole thing though. It's the whole defensive line. So right now in the trenches, because of their offensive coordinator doing different things, their offensive line isn't performing as well, and you can kind of expect stuff like that as a hurdle with new offensive coordinators. But the defensive line is what's shocking to me. So, but their offensive line and defensive line are not being dominant. So they're losing in the trenches, and they're a team built on being strong in the trenches, better than you at in the trenches on both sides.
I 100% agree. But normally, being strong in the trenches it's because you have to double team a player, which allows other players who aren't as good or aren't as talented to shine because you have a focal point. This year, Jalen Carter is not the same guy he was last year, and the dude I was talking about is the linebacker out of Alabama, Jahad Campbell. I
Okay.
I like him. I like it. The team has a lot of talent, like a whole lot of talent. I just don't.
Okay.
I just don't think that between Sirianni and that new offensive coordinator, I don't think that they have figured out an identity yet.
Okay.
The new guy, Kevin Patullo, like you're right, he doesn't really know how to put Jalen Hurts in positions to succeed because he like whatever Patula's doing, neither Saquon or Jalen Hurts. Like Jalen Hurts, don't get me wrong, he's
They're
having
not responding
a
well to it.
Jalen Hurts is still doing his thing, but like
No, they're
he's
not
make
responding well to it.
yeah.
Their games have suffered because of it.
I,
It's
I,
not
I
just one
think
person. It's not just one person. Their
I,
game.
I I think Jalen Hurts is still like producing pretty. It's just weird to me because like the one game he didn't produce in the first half, and then the second half he went off. Like
Mhm.
they're not giving him a whole game. He's
Yeah.
capable of making throws. They're not putting receivers in their strong point, and Saquon, because the receivers aren't producing to their capabilities or not spreading the offense out. Saquon isn't producing,
Yes,
and
that's just being inconsistent, and he's being
yeah.
inconsistent in his offense. That's it. All right, cool. We got to move on to the next game, though. Can't spend too much time on one, unfortunately. You know, because what people don't know is when me and you just be talking, we could talk for like 2.5 hours straight about one thing.
Yeah, like
About
we
one
did
thing.
last time,
So,
the other
yeah,
day.
like we
Yeah.
did last time. We just gotta, you know what I mean? We gotta run a show now. All right, next game. A surprising, both teams were actually a little bit surprising to me, but the Seahawks beat the Jaguars, and now both teams are 4-2. Seattle won 20-12. Um, Now we're gonna read off some stats. Trevor Lawrence was 27 of 42, 258 yards, two touchdowns, no picks, and they still lost. Well, they had nothing on the ground. Jesus. Um, Travis Etienne had 12 carries for 27 yards, and he led them in rushing. No rushing touchdowns. Brian Thomas Jr. had 8 receptions, 90 yards, one touchdown, and Tim Patrick also had a receiving touchdown. Did they do anything on defense? No sacks, no picks. That's probably why they lost. Um, Sam Darnold was 16 and 27, 295 yards, two touchdowns, no picks. Uh, Kenneth Walker, he had 10 carries for 34 yards, but there was no rushing touchdowns. Jackson Smith and Jigba had 8 receptions for 162 yards and a touchdown. Cooper Kupp had a receiving touchdown as well. And let's see. They had two, 3.5, 5.5. They had 6 sacks this game. Six. Yes, they had 6 sacks this game. Jeez, and an interception. What you got? What you got for this game?
Um, this game was bad playing bad. I mean, I know the Jags are better this season. Seahawks are surprisingly decent, but I mean, Sam Darnold, he's in another completely new system. I'm starting to see this guy that the Jaguars thought that Trevor Lawrence could be.
You're
I
starting to see
just
it.
I'm starting to see it. I mean, he's being consistent.
That's
Uh,
interesting. That's interesting that you say that. Continue.
I'm just saying, like, this whole time when he got drafted, we already we were annoyed to him because his production in college.
Mm-hmm.
He's already tied his wins for last year. He's on pace for, let's see, how many yards is he on pace for? So we're 6 games in. Trevor Lawrence is on pace for, let's see, oh crap. He's on pace for probably just under 4,000 yards. 4,000 yards, probably 24 touchdowns. It's going to be about 15 interceptions. Etienne has been their premier back, and he's on pace for 1,000 yard season. They got rid of their other running back. Like the team has some bright spots. I just
I
don't
can't wait to
know.
get to this one. You gotta let me get to this one.
Oh my goodness, they've been able to beat a lot of
I want you to see
mediocre
my face
teams.
right now. Look over here.
What? They're 4-2. Like
Listen
it
to me.
doesn't.
You're
It
right.
does.
You're right. And all right. So I got to answer this now. Listen to me. The Jaguars probably be undefeated if they had another quarterback besides Trevor Lawrence. To be honest with you, so first of all, he threw for about 60%. He was 27 of 42. Okay, that's not it's not awful, but it's not great. Sam Darnold was 16 to 27, and they had the same amount of yards, same amount of touchdowns. So it's one thing about Trevor Lawrence that I have always hated about him in the NFL. He is making quarterbacks like Sam Darnold. He is making quarterbacks like who else is average? Like he's making average quarterbacks playing against him look better. Okay, listen, I understand the rest of the team wasn't great, but once again, I've said it once, I'll say it again. Your quarterback got to carry some shit. Okay, and 20-12, and the defense didn't even really play that great, but they gave up 20 points. I'm sorry, you got to find 9 more points. Trevor Lawrence, you've got to find 9 more points. And the fact of the matter is, you scored 12. So what you're putting out there, you scored 12. Okay? There's not even two full touchdowns and extra points. I am sorry. Trevor Lawrence is the problem now, and that is what I am seeing. And I don't know what you're seeing to say that he's like great.
Oh, whoa, whoa.
hold on. The only reason we're saying anything anymore about Trevor Lawrence is because he beat Justin Herbert in a playoff game, and you know how I feel about Justin Herbert. That's the only reason we're saying anything about Trevor Lawrence. One thing that he did that we're like, all right, that's the claim to fame, and that's bullshit.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. No one said he was great. I just
That you
said
starting to see it.
I'm starting to see it. Like the team is winning, right? That's the number one stat we care about. We don't care so much about numbers. We don't care so much about anything else. The team is winning. He's not losing games for them like he
We
was
got
in the
we got to move to
past.
the next segment or the next team. Just to let you know, but continue.
He's not losing games like he has in the past. Now, I mean, part of that could be coaching, part of that could be personnel. The defense is not lights out. They haven't really won any. They haven't really beat anybody of significance. But I can't blame Trevor Lawrence for anything because currently they're winning. This is how he did in college. He wasn't the greatest quarterback in college, but they were winning all the time.
Okay, so
Like,
all I'm saying is, and we're gonna move on. I just want you to keep an eye on this as the season goes on. When the team isn't playing well, he's not doing anything to put them in a position to win. When they are winning these games, and I just want you to keep an eye on it. Just humor me. Is he the reason that they're winning, or is this team the reason that they're winning and despite of him? Just keep an eye on that. That's all I really want you to do.
I 1000% understand and agree, but we could probably say that about 65% of the quarterbacks in the league.
Okay, so he's in the 45th to 50th percentile of NFL quarterbacks. Great. That
Yeah.
ain't that ain't it. That ain't it. Um,
He was in the 90th percentile. I mean, like he was in the bottom
we
10%.
thought
So
we thought he was in the 90th.
no, the bottom 10%.
Either way, we are moving on to two legit teams with legit quarterbacks. Yes, both of them better than Trevor Lawrence, by the way. The Kansas City Chiefs were very impressive looking against the Detroit Lions. They won 30-17. Jared Goff, he was 23 of 29, 203 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Jahmyr Gibbs had 17 carries for 65 yards. There was no rushing touchdowns. Jameson Williams had 6 receptions for 66 yards and a touchdown. And Sam Laporta had 5 receptions for 55 yards and 1 touchdown. Some of these doubles, whatever. I ain't even going into it. Jack Campbell had a sack. Who else had a sack? Aiden Hutchinson had a sack. Um, um, Al Qadim Muhammad had a sack. Who else had a sack? They was having some sacks here. Okay. They was having production there. All right, cool. Now we getting my man Pat, the best quarterback in the NFL. Pat, 22 of 30, 257 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Isaiah Pacheco led him with 51 yards rushing, no rushing touchdowns. Pat had a rushing touchdown as well. Travis Kelsey led them in receiving with 6 receptions for 78 yards. However, Hollywood Brown had 2 receiving touchdowns. He only had 4 receptions. 2 of them was for touchdowns. And Xavier Worthy also had a receiving touchdown. Did they have anything? And their defense had 1 sack and no picks. All right, let me go first on this one.
Got
So
it.
this is exactly what I'm saying. I just read off the Chiefs roster, and their team didn't have a bunch of sacks. They didn't have any picks. So they had 1 sack and no picks, and somehow they still won the game by 15 points. So it's not like the team was playing out great. And once again, I'm going on record again. I'm tired of the league trying to convince me that the Chiefs have a good roster. They have great players in the positions where you need them to be great. And everything else is about they got about 3 really good players, and everybody else is okay to pretty good. You know what I mean? We'll see. But nothing. But it's not like a roster full of outstanding people. And now when I'm looking at them, they're about to get their wide receiver back. They're about to get Rasheed Rice back, right? And now I'm looking at them, and now looking at them, and then I looked at the Bills, who we're going to talk more about in a little bit. I looked at both of them, and I'm like, damn, I think I might be looking at the Chiefs again, going back to the Super Bowl again, because it wasn't their offensive line, it wasn't the play calling. They just didn't have a lot of players that normally would. They've never had a great roster under Patrick Mahomes like that. Not for years and years and years. They did at one point, but the last three Super Bowls that they've been to, they did not have a good roster.
I can agree.
But
I
that was it.
mean,
You let me off easy on that one. Okay,
I'm not letting you off easy. I'm just going to say
you don't never let me off easy.
there's one little thing that you fail to realize.
Okay.
The Chiefs never get called for any penalties, and I feel like that's bullshit. We both know that you can call a holding play on any down in football. There's always going to be holding. A lot of times they let it go, but for some reason they had a penalty free game again. Like that's the major difference. Like because I get you're going through the stats. Oh, he threw for 257 yards, 3 touchdowns, no real rushing production, right? So what are we looking at? 257. He threw for 50 more yards and one more touchdown. Their leading rusher didn't do more than Jameer Gibbs. Their leading receiver, Travis Kelsey, didn't have any touchdowns. I mean, like it when you really stack it up, when you don't have any penalties and
Okay.
you don't have as many punts. Let's see.
I
Hold
was
on.
just about to get to that. So also, also the so you're saying penalties, but the fact that they punted the ball more times, the fact that they were over 2 on fourth down. I mean, I mean, what, like none of that had anything to do with anything because it wasn't time of possession. Um, it doesn't say. I don't see the penalties. They did have 4 penalties. So they had 4 penalties. They had 3 punts, and they were 0 for 2 on fourth down. And you're only focusing on one thing to say how this might have been there. Like they controlled them. They did what they had to do against them.
Listen, I'm Andy Reid. I think the Lions coach is not as seasoned. I think he messed up again this game. He called for a review that he just wasted a timeout for no reason. Not that it was going to make a big difference. I mean they lost by so much that that timeout wasn't going to save them. But what's my man's name? Dan Campbell. He needs to learn the intricacies of when to call a timeout and when to just go with the play. Like you're losing opportunities by doing
So,
shit like
so
that.
that's all I'm saying. They got out coached. So that's what I'm saying. Kansas City is great at being like so. Their offensive line is very good. Their offensive tackle is actually more elite. The quarterback is elite. Um, they have a legit Chris Jones to me. He's because no one really talks about him, but to me he's the best defender in football. He has nothing else on that defense that you're like, oh, except for Murphy, the corner, um, McDuffie, excuse me, McDuffie. So they have a legitimate corner. They have one legitimate pass rusher. They have a legitimate left tackle, and they have a legitimate quarterback, and they have a legitimate head coach. So they're coaching and they're good at the right positions, and that's what situationally they're better. Throughout the game, they're not better than these teams. Situationally, they're beating teams, and they're doing that at an A plus level.
Yeah, I agreed. I'm not, but it's also I still don't like the fact that they have no penalties. Like maybe coaching is the reason why you don't have any penalties. Like you learn when and how to get away with certain things. Like you that has something to do with coaching too. But the game needs to be called a little more evenly.
Okay, okay, cool. All right, we're gonna move on to the next game. Another shocker, shocker. The Bills lost. They had now lost 2 straight. They lost to the Atlanta Falcons yesterday. They lost 24-14. Josh Allen was 15 and 26, 180 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 picks. James Cook had 17 carries for 87 yards. There was no rushing touchdowns. Josh Palmer he led him with 2 receptions for 60 yards, And let's see, Ray Davis had a receiving touchdown, and Dawson Knox had a receiving touchdown. Let's see, Ed Oliver had a sack. Solomon had a sack. Let's see, they had two sacks and no picks. Okay, Michael Penix Jr. He was 20 of 32 for 250 yards, one touchdown, no picks. Bijan Robinson had 19 carries for 170 yards and a touchdown. And Tyler Algier, he had another rushing touchdown. Drake London had 10 receptions for 158 yards with one touchdown. And Bijan Robinson also had 68 yards rushing. Let's see what they had. D. Alford had a sack. Some of these names I'm never gonna be able to. I'm never gonna be able to get to them. David Anyamata, he had a sack. Sam Roberts had a sack. Who else had a sack? They had so they had three, four sacks, and they had the two picks. David Alford also had a pick. Shout out to my man David Alford, and D'Angelo Malone had a pick. Yo, you mind if I go first on this one, Tim?
Go ahead.
You know, before this game, I was ready to look at the Bills and say that's going to be who's going to be in the Super Bowl. Then I watched the Atlanta Falcons manhandle them in the trenches, offensive line and defensive line, and they locked up the wide receivers, and the Bills looked slow. Not only were they manhandling it in the trenches, they looked slow against the Atlanta Falcons. I'm saying all this to say the Atlanta Falcons are not a Super Bowl contender. They're not a team that we're looking at to be in the Super Bowl. We're not even sure they're a team that we're looking at to be in the playoffs. And they manhandled them in ways and made them look slow. And then it reminded me of all the times that is that I've looked at them and seen that they lost and why they lost. It wasn't Josh Allen. He just wasn't great today. I mean, he's been great for about the last year and a half. Or he wasn't great today. That team, and once again, I don't they need not one but two pass rushers. They have a good defense, but they need not one but two pass rushers. and and the funny thing is, Michael Penix didn't even really look that good. I don't even think that he's like, I don't know if he's the guy yet, but he didn't even really look that good. He looked that good giving it to Bijan Robinson. He looked really good throwing it to Drake London. Outside of that, he was inaccurate a lot of times. He was hit or miss with a lot of the things that he was doing. He made some decisions. It was like, oh, they confused him showing man and jumping into a zone, and it worked, and they confused him. They just didn't come away with the pick. Um, but there was no point in this game. I expected the Bills to come back. It's not that they lost. It's not that they lost. It's how they lost. And the Bills, I'm sorry, as I don't think they have it. I don't think they have it. And I can see every reason if the Atlanta Falcons are going to do this to you. There's about three teams in the AFC that can do everything that Atlanta did to you. The Chiefs can. The Colts can. I
You're
know.
biased on that one.
See. So you say no, but you say that, and then I'm saying Atlanta did this, and I'm like, well, yeah, they can. And let me give you the third team. The Steelers might be able to do that to you too. Yeah, the Steelers might be able to do that to you too. Oh, and the Broncos might be able to do that to you too. So there's four teams that potentially might be able to do just what Atlanta did to you in the playoffs. There's a problem brewing, and y'all not gonna like how this ends. You can go ahead, brother.
I view it a little differently. Uh, like Josh Allen had an off game. I'm not a big Josh Allen fan, but I'm not a big Josh Allen hater. Game recognized game. He's a dual threat quarterback. He's a big body. He's mobile. He he's last year's MVP. Um, the one thing I'm gonna say, like you're a little bit hard on Penix. I mean, Penix is still a rookie for all intended purposes. He's only had 8 starts. So
Okay.
I feel Atlanta did what you're supposed to do when you have a young quarterback. You give him the talent to support him as he learns the NFL speed. Um, I think that's the difference between the Bills and the Falcons. When you have a high end quarterback like a Josh Allen, you miss out on having the support around him. Bijan Robinson is the type of guy that you need with a young quarterback. Bijan Robinson was lights out. Um, yeah, you went over his stats, but let's highlight it just a little bit. Bijan Robinson and Cook are not far off when you compare their ability to run. Cook is a bigger ground and pound guy, but Bijan Robinson is way not only can he catch, but he's going to make you miss. Like Cook is not going to make you miss that first tackle. He's going to punish that first tackle. Bijan Robinson, that first second guy might miss. So he's going to come down with 170 yards on the ground as opposed to 87 yards. So then he's going to come back with 68 yards in the passing game. And my man James Cook ain't coming with 60 yards every week. I mean, like you got a dual threat quarterback,
But it's
a
because it's
dual.
Bijan, because Bijan Robinson is that good. And I'm not saying anything to take away from Cook, but Bijan Robinson, honestly, he reminds me so much of LaDainian Tomlinson in terms of everything
Daniel
that he can do.
Tomlinson,
Like,
Warwick Dunn. There's a lot of guys in that
but
category.
he's like that. I get it. He made Cook look normal. I get it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's not that it's not that they really made the wide receivers look average because they don't have the greatest wide receivers. It's that they took their offensive line and defensive line and said, "I that's where I'm going to beat you too."
Yeah,
I know Bijan Robinson's going to make him look bad. I know that you know what I'm saying. There's things that I knew was going to happen. I didn't
yeah.
think that all of that was going to happen.
I think that the other thing that the Bills have been lucky that they haven't been exposed. Like the defensive end, like they've been decent, but you went and got Joey Bosa, who's been injury prone and he's older, he's getting longer in the tooth. Like that's not going to jump you from the AFC Championship game to the Super Bowl. Like you're putting too they're putting too much pressure on Josh Allen. And although I think he can handle it, what we're seeing this year is all those quarterbacks that have to bridge the gap ain't bridging it. You know what I mean? Like all the teams that have the supporting cast, like your Tampa Bays, like your Eagles, like that supporting cast is what's going to even the 49ers. That supporting cast is what's making a difference because when a team has to game plan for the abilities of one player and they can spy off or cheat off of players because they're not as talented as these defensive backs are, or they don't get the production from the running back because I mean like there's so many nuances to the game. They're going to scheme for a Josh Allen, and the Bills probably looked at Atlanta like, oh, they're not good, so let's just go in there. This is going to be a
Right, but
bye
that's the
week for
problem
us.
with the Bills. The Bills' problem is if Josh Allen ain't great, then like that's how I've heard that, and I kind of felt that from depending on what's going on with them. But now it's very evident if Josh Allen ain't great, like so everything that I've ever told you about wide receivers, right, and why I don't like top five wide receivers if I'm a Super Bowl contender, right? That works if your offensive line is dominant. That's why it
Yeah,
works because you get the time to do all of those kinds of things. You know what I mean? Like, like all like they get like they failed. They failed Josh Allen in terms of this year. That's what I feel. And
I
it's
feel
gonna hurt. And it's gonna hurt when it happens. It's gonna hurt when it happens. And now I can see, oh, it's gonna happen. It's not just the
here
wide
here
receivers. It's not just
here
the offensive or defensive line. If Josh Allen ain't great, if he ain't great,
here goes the one other thing.
it's gonna be bad.
It's so hard to judge an offensive line with a mobile quarterback because when he's rushing or when he's moving in the pocket, that offensive line is getting viewed as being much more productive than it actually is. So on those days when he's dragging because he's slightly injured but not really, like it's going to be evident. You know what I mean, like he's going to get sacked 4 times by a decent defense instead. I mean, like because the Falcons defense ain't lights out either, but
But they're,
you're
but
you're
they're not.
you're
But they're
going to
not considered to be a Super Bowl contender.
yeah. I 100% agree with you. Like
We're not sure that they're going to make the playoffs. That's the difference that we're saying. That I'm saying, and the problem I'm seeing with the Bills. This you got manhandled by a team that may not even make the playoffs.
and the Bills have to wake up and realize. if the Falcons can do this, everyone's going to mimic this gameplay if they can. They're going to mimic this gameplay. Everybody don't have a Bijan Robinson, but they're going to see these holes that the Bills have, and the Bills haven't really been lights out either. Josh Allen's been getting another level every time, but they don't have that receipt. They don't have a possession receiver, which even when they did have it, they weren't producing because they were predictable. Now that they don't have it in these games when Josh Allen needs it, they don't have him. So it's like, six in one hand, half a dozen in the other. I mean, it's still a problem regardless.
The Bills are not great. And this is where we're going to close it before we because we're going to take five at this. Just in conclusion, the Bills are not great in all the positions that you need to be great. This is why you
Quick,
don't overpay for linebackers. You make sure that you get pass
quick
rushers.
quick question: what pass rushers could they have got? Because the pass rusher market is fucking crazy.
Well, the Packers walked away from with a pass rusher this offseason.
I mean, I really do like it for the Packers, and we're going to talk about that later.
Okay,
But by the same
that's
token,
all I'm
you don't
saying. Like, I mean,
you,
Trey
you
Hendrickson was trying to get out of Cincinnati. I'm like when you say who could they have
you
gotten? Like I just
yeah,
go
yeah,
get it. Like no,
but
hold on. But what I'm
they're
saying, what I'm
paying,
saying is, what I'm saying is, go get the pass rusher. Go get him. Like you know what I'm saying. That's one thing that Howie does great for the Eagles. Go get him.
bro.
What
I
do
I
you
just
what?
I can't say paying a pass rusher 45 million a year is the plan. Like I
On
don't
this
know
roster?
how
You don't need nothing else. Give me two
I I
pass rushers.
I don't know how paying 45 million for a defensive end is going to like be sustainable. Like I all right, so the Packers, the Browns, um, the Steelers, and the Bengals.
We got under a minute here, just to let you know.
The Packers are the only team that I see making any noise. That's all I'm saying. The other three teams just blew money in the wind.
Mm-hmm.
When you said they should have paid a pass rusher, they didn't pay a pass rusher. They got Joey Bosa long in the tooth, like I said before.
Mm-hmm.
They're still a top 10 sack team
Mm-hmm.
without going out for Michael Parsons. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
Michael Parsons was the piece they needed to be number one, but the team that's number one hasn't paid a pass rusher yet. Only one team who paid a pass rusher is ahead of them, and that is well. I mean, there's two reasons for that. That's the Steelers, one. Um, but the other team that might surpass them or should be surpassing them has only had 4 games instead of 6 so far, and that's the Packers.
Okay. So I'm gonna give you the same answer I gave to you last year and the year before, but even about your Ravens, who was also top three in sacks in the regular season, by the way. Um, at some point, a team is going to put you in a situation where you have no choice but to go get them with four pass rushers. It may not show up today, it may not show up tomorrow. Somewhere between now and a Super Bowl championship, it's going to show up. And if you don't have those pass rushers, you will lose, and it's going to be the reason why you lose. Then you have to go get the pass rushers. Okay, you have to be great where you need to be great. They want to pay
Yeah,
some
I,
money.
I mean, I agree with you, but at the same time, I can't really say that that's what's holding them back. They're
Okay,
four and
you don't have
two.
to say it. You don't have to. And by the way, you don't even have to say it when it happens. When they do lose, you don't have to say it then either. But just know that I might have mentioned something about a pass rusher and in August and them needing it and them not having it and just you know what I mean. Just it's fine. We don't have to stay there because we got other
I'm just
topics to
saying
talk
they're
about.
4 and 2. They're top 10 in sacks right now. I mean, the proof's in the pudding.
Okay.
I mean, the Chiefs don't have 2 pass rushers, and they keep going to the Super Bowl.
And I can't explain. And this is why Pat is so great in my head because he don't have two pass rushers. Thank you for saying that. This don't make sense why he's being able to do this with this roster. Okay, with these rosters going to Super Bowls, it don't make sense. That's why he's so great to me. That's why Chris Jones is so great to me too. Because it's just not,
So
just not. That's all. So thank you for saying everything that you're saying because the one time when that doesn't show up, one of the greatest, the potentially the best quarterback you've ever seen in your life was there. Okay, so there's that. With that said, Washington, they had a great game again. Playing a team they had another great game against last year in a I don't want to call it a historic game, but it's one for the ages. The Bears, they came back around this year and beat the Commanders 25-24. I bet you they felt like they owed them that from last year. Um, Jaden Daniels was 19 and 26, 211 yards, three touchdowns and a pick. And Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, he had 17 carries for 61 yards, no rushing touchdowns. They really didn't have much receiving either. But Chris Moore had a receiving touchdown. Zach Ertz had a receiving touchdown, and Luke McCaffrey had a receiving touchdown. See how many sacks they had? One, two, three. They had three sacks all around. Vaughn had a half a sack. Go ahead, Vaughn. Vaughn had a half a sack, my man. All right, but they ain't had no picks. So the Bears, Caleb Williams, he was 17 and 29, 252 yards, one touchdown, no picks. DeAndre Swift had 14 carries for 108 yards. Um, Ironically, Caleb did have a rushing touchdown, although he had a net negative two rushing yards. So put that together, if you will. DeAndre Swift also led them in receiving with 67 yards receiving and a touchdown. DeAndre Swift saved their ass this game. Let's see. They had one, two. They had two sacks and a pick. Okay, defense. Okay, so the Bears got their revenge. What does this game mean for both teams? And is this the arrival of Caleb Williams, or are you still not, or are you not a believer in him?
Not a believer. I still think Jaden Daniels, hands down, was the best quarterback pick last year. Jaden Daniels, I believe Washington is doing it right. They're giving him he's avoiding a sophomore slump. They're giving him everything he needs to succeed. Currently, um, I mean, they lost Brian Robinson Jr. to the 49ers. They don't have quite as productive a rushing offense as they did last year. Um, Terry McLaurin, I mean, I didn't like how he sat out the preseason. Like that was the number one receiver. Now he's injured. Debo Samuels, he has the wear and tear he does every year, but he's still out there like trying to produce. Jaden Daniels, I I thought I know he is who um the boy at the Texans, CJ. He is who CJ pretends to be. I mean, like, I think that, and the
CJ Stroud?
organization,
You
yeah,
said
CJ
Caleb is who
Stroud.
CJ Stroud pretends to be. Okay,
You
continue.
you you heard it here first. See, CJ Stroud, like, he's all right. 2 years ago, he was lights out. Last year, he was decent. This year, he's okay. I mean, like, he's regressing. I mean, the team's also making dumb decisions. So, you let offensive linemen go. Oh, where you send that offensive lineman? Oh, let's send him to Washington. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Like, you let your best offensive lineman go. You go and get Diggs. Diggs get injured. You just let him go. You don't replace him. Like,
Hmm. Hmm. Boy, could they use him right now.
you're running back. I mean, you can't help that your running back got injured. Like, let's get off the Texans. But I just think Jaden Daniels is who CJ Stroud pretends to be.
Okay.
I like Jaden Daniels. It's unfortunate that he doesn't have a running back to take some of that pressure off him because he's so mobile. But, like, you still want someone there, and they're not getting production from their run game. Other than that, like I said, I believe in him. Like, this kid is
Okay.
he's pretty consistent. Um, he's not throwing a whole lot of interceptions. He is, he's in every game. Like,
Okay.
all right,
I got you.
I can't be mad at
So,
him. This game was close, but, like you just said out of your own mouth, DeAndre Swift. saved that ass. Like I don't really have like yes, Caleb Williams, he did a thing, but I still don't think that I still don't think Caleb Williams is that guy. I I I don't know. I ain't got nothing against the nail polish. It ain't my thing. But I just think he came in demanding things, and I didn't think he was proven in college.
Okay.
Like I'm a just
So I hear you, I hear you. So I thought it was interesting that coming into this game that they didn't call this um the draft or like the game going against the first overall pick and the second overall pick because they always put that as you know what I mean the headlines for a game like this. I've never seen a game where in the same draft the number one overall pick and the second overall pick both quarterbacks and that not be what it is. And I agree with you. Caleb Williams, I feel as though has robbed us of greatness, and I don't think that that's not said to be that kind of game because of anything Jaden Daniels did. Jaden Daniels has performed how he is supposed to perform. Caleb Williams has robbed us of greatness coming from that pick. And it's not like that was like who was left over. Like they chose him over Jaden Daniels. So I think he's got a long way to go. Does he not have it? I'm not ready to say he does not have it. I He has not shown it. And I feel as though he is getting the he's been doing good as if to say that was enough when we watched Jaden Daniels do what he did. You know, like they're like when they say good is the enemy of great, and they're saying
yeah.
he's been good, and we've watched Jaden Daniels and good with Jaden Daniels doing what he did is just like honestly, it kind of looks more like a bust to be real with you. Uh,
I'm
so
not gonna say Caleb Williams is a bust. Like
no,
it's
I don't think he's a bust. I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm not saying I'm not ready to say he doesn't have it. I'm saying he has not shown it yet. It. I'm talking about
yes.
it. The it. Like you know what I'm saying? Some people have it. He has not shown
Teacher,
it yet.
teacher, teacher, you forgot to sign his homework. I'm not gonna go that far because it is the Bears. And he is outperforming the Bears history.
No. You don't get that. You don't get that. And I'm gonna tell you why you don't get that. Because it's the Commanders with Jaden Daniels, okay? You don't get that. The Bears' history has been very much more structured in the last 40 years than the Commanders slash Redskins history has been. And me and you both know, and that has not even been close. Okay,
I I, I just want to see this.
so
All right.
what do you mean? Why you
I want to
say
go.
that?
I want to look over.
I'm not saying either one inherited anything great. I'm still that's an excuse. That's an excuse. That's an excuse for Caleb Williams because yes, he got the Bears and they've never had a great quarterback. Jim McMahon was probably the best quarterback they ever had. But this is the Commanders. Let's stop acting like they've had a plethora of successful winning cultures or anything close of the sort. That's all I'm saying. And I do
I,
want to move on. To be real with you.
I agree. I agree. But I just I hear what you were saying, but I just want to see, like, have they had any winning seasons?
Who the Commanders?
Yeah.
The last time they had a winning season, I believe it was 9-7 with RG3. So have they had like an 11 win season before Jaden Daniels? I don't know when the hell that happened. I can't tell you when that happened.
10-6 and 12, 10-6 and 5. I mean, they're both pretty terrible. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, that's what I'm
Um,
saying. Just don't.
yeah,
I just was saying. I'm not ready to say he's a bust or anything like that. He just hasn't played it. Just don't use organization as the reason why one was successful and the other one was not. That's all I'm saying.
yeah.
All right. So
It's-
we're gonna get to these week 7 picks. Week 7, and there's some games here. Rams Jags.
I'm big on the Rams. I don't believe in Stafford, but everything else on that team is right. Their defense is good. Kyron Williams is great. He's a top 10 running back. I like the wide receivers, like everything, and Stafford's producing still.
Mhm.
He's just gonna die on the field one day. I think he's old. I never thought he was great. I will always say this. Even when they won that Super Bowl, it wasn't him who did it.
You
Like
put so you put so much on Matthew Stafford, man. What he did?
I I don't understand how someone goes from being on the team that went 0-16 to everyone talking about he was always great. He's a gunslinger. Megatron carried him the first half of his career. Somehow, some way, they thought it was smart to trade away all those draft picks for for him and give him look. Golf got there and they haven't missed the playoffs yet. So it was Matthew Stafford. Like Golf would have
Yes,
won
they
that Super
yes they
Bowl.
did. Yes, they did. They missed the playoffs with golf.
What, the first year when he got there?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because they knocked out Aaron Rodgers. They knocked out Aaron Rodgers. They didn't go to the playoffs. They just knocked out the Packers that year. Yeah, they missed the playoffs one time.
Listen, I
I get what
let's
you're
see.
saying though. He's been very successful turning around that franchise. Um, like I said, I think there's good quarterbacks. I think there's great quarterbacks. I think
Oh,
there's
he actually missed twice in Detroit
okay. So I think there's carriers of rosters, and I think there's somebody. I think there's people who need a roster. Um, to be
to
a
carry
certain
them.
way, be a certain way, or carry them however
Stafford's
you
that
want.
guy.
That's
Everyone has him as
fine.
this elite
That's
guy. He's the
fine.
number 5 quarterback in the league. Or something. He's
That's
not that
fine.
fucking good. It's not fine. Let's be
That's fine.
call a spade a spade. He's a
So
workhorse.
all right,
He's a
all right. So
workhorse.
all right. So this is what I'm saying. Okay, the Rams can win the Super Bowl this year. Okay, the Rams can win the Super Bowl this year. Okay, absolutely. I'm that high on the Rams. So as they're currently constructed with Matthew Stafford and watching how he's playing too, he's playing well. What do you want me to say? So just so we can get close, I think the Rams are going to win this game. I think they lost. Losing a game like they lost to the 49ers. I don't all the way hold that as heavily against them because that's their division rival. Okay, in your division, sometimes you'll lose to teams that you'll be like, how the hell did they lose to that team? If that loss is in your division, I'm like, okay. Like for instance, the Patriots used to win Super Bowls all the time and then lose to the Miami Dolphins. And it'd be like, how the fuck are they losing to the Miami Dolphins? It's just a division thing. I see you twice a year, every year. I know what you're trying to do. So I'm not as hard on them. I'm picking the Rams against the Jags. I'm picking the Rams against the Jags. And Trevor Lawrence is not going to be able to show us enough. I'm sure his stats will be decent enough, but enough to win this game. So you didn't tell me who you're picking, by the way.
I'm picking the Rams. I think it's going to be a 3-point game. They're going to win by 3.
I think it's going to be a 10-point game. Colts Chargers. You see how that happened? Did you see? Listen, I didn't plan that. Okay, I didn't plan like that. Just happened. That just oozed out of that. You see? Go ahead.
Oh man, I want to say the Chargers so bad because you're a Colts fan.
Hmm.
I want to say the Chargers so bad because you're a Colts fan. Let's see. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going with the Chargers. I'm going with the Chargers. I mean,
Ooh.
Daniel Jones he he's proved a lot of people wrong. He's also proved a lot of people right by saying the Giants are the worst organization in football. But then again, the Giants just beat the Eagles. It's only their second win. I like Herbert. I like Keenan Allen. I like a lot about this team, to be honest with you. Um, this team, I mean, I think I have the better hardball, but this team is pretty decent. Justin Herbert, monster. I think they need a little help at wide receiver. Keenan Allen. It was just a down year because he's with the Bears. He's back. Um, I like that rookie running back that they have. I mean, I I I mean the Colts will probably win this game just because I said this, but I'm gonna go Chargers.
Okay, so let me just say this, and because I do have pause about this game. Out of all the teams that we've played and beaten this year, Justin Herbert would be the best quarterback that we've played this year. I have pause about Daniel Jones against great quarterbacks. Also, we're not going to have our top cornerback either, Charchavius Ward. We're not going to have him going into this game. He's got a concussion. So their wide receivers, which are very good. Um, And our quarterback, looking at the quarterback battle, I have not moved off of Daniel Jones uh, matching up against another great quarterback and saying, oh, another great quarterback is going to show you what greatness looks like. Now, I don't think that Justin Herbert is great, but I think he has greatness in him. But he has
I
not
think
proven.
Justin Herbert. I think Justin Herbert can make every throw. I think Justin
Yes,
Herbert.
he has greatness in him.
I think
All I'm
he.
saying is, go ahead, go
I
ahead.
think he is who people think Matthew Stafford is. That's all I'm gonna say. Like I don't think Matthew Stafford has greatness in him. I think Justin Herbert has the capability. We'll see if coaching
I mean,
bridges
I'm
that
with
gap.
you. Matthew Stafford saved his legacy getting over to the Rams. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
um, I'm picking my Colts. I'm not gonna not pick my Colts, but I'm saying if we lose, it's going to because Daniel Jones played a quarterback and he got showed what greatness is, and that is actually my biggest fear. So I expect us to win, but if we lose this game, I have bigger fears and worries going down the stretch.
Yeah. I have. This is going to be like
This is the most
this game's
important.
going to be.
Oh, hold on.
It's going to be by a point or two.
So
So you're going to see like a 21-20
no, but
game.
what I'm saying is Daniel Jones. Not that you are listening, but Daniel Jones, if you're listening, this is the biggest game of your career, my friend. Right
Oh
now,
yeah.
this is the biggest game in Daniel Jones' career. Show me something.
Yeah, listen. I
Moving
this you're
on.
right. You're right.
Moving on.
This is a big game.
Okay, so then we got Bucs versus Lions. Bucks coming off. I mean, Lions coming off a loss. Bucks coming off of a big win. Who we got?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, I can
I
go
I
first.
I, I think the Bucks are going to be missing their first, second, and third receiver. Um, I got the Lions by 10.
You kind of took the words out of my mouth. I'm not, and I'm also not ready to look at the Bucks as something great yet. And if they win this game, we'd have to have a different conversation about them. And the Lions coming off a loss, coming off playing the Bucks, and with all these injuries, they can't lose this game. They can't lose this game.
Yeah, I mean, if the Bucks win this game, Baker Mayfield is going to be elevated. Like he's been playing consistently since he got with his organization. He's going to be elevated to that conversation. Like you're going to see, although it shouldn't be there, you're going to see him in that top three, four, five quarterback world. Like, and I'm not ready for that, but
You're
Bucks
still
fans
not.
certainly are.
Well, and I'm even advancing more. If he wins this game, Baker Mayfield is the MVP of the league.
Oh, he could be, but he has to win
Think
out through.
about it. Think about it. If he wins this game, Baker Mayfield is the MVP of the league.
Nah, it's too early though, because you got to win at the end of the season. If you lose those games at the end of the season, as
But
you've seen other players,
they only gonna get people back. They only gonna get people back at this point. Everybody's hurt. They only gonna get people back. If you're winning this game with everybody going against a team like Detroit, he's the MVP. I'm telling you, if he wins this game, he's the MVP.
I could agree with that.
I'm not ready for that either though. So no. All right. So we got through week 6 and we got our week 7 picks in. Now I'm just curious about some teams, because I always want to make sure I incorporate all the teams. And I think there's some surprises based on how you feel about them. One I gave a strong opinion on already. But I want to talk about your thoughts on some teams. And I'll start with the Steelers and I'll give you my opinion on the Steelers. I don't quite understand this yet, and I need more information. I know on paper what I don't like about them, and one of those things is Aaron Rodgers at this stage in his career. Uh, Yet they're in first place. They're beating everybody who's put up in front of them. I just need more information on them, and I can't shake that feeling of this is a fraud. Remember the year that Baker Mayfield won the playoff game with the Browns, and
Yeah.
yeah, but the Steelers were like 14-2 and they beat them in the playoffs. I'm feeling like that with this team still. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I'm feeling. I know that they're being successful. I just don't know exactly how or why they're being so successful.
they're being successful with the number two pass rush in football. Like let's call a spade a spade. Um, Here's my problem with the Steelers, right? It's not my problem because I fucking don't like them, and I'm glad that they do dumb shit all the time.
Hmm.
So like, you're going to win just enough games to not get your future quarterback, and why the fuck would you want to do that when Aaron Rodgers already said he's not playing again next year? Russell Wilson was capable. Justin Fields was young and capable. You go get Aaron Rodgers, who's not doing any better than either one of those guys. And then you go get him a better receiver. What I think he's throwing for more touchdowns than they did, but they also weren't throwing to DK Metcalf. So yeah. 10 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Mason Rudolph even got in a few of these games. I mean, at the end of the day, the Steelers are gonna it looks like they're gonna win our division unless something drastic happens amongst one of these other three teams, which I mean, maybe Joe Flacco goes to Cincinnati and does something.
Yeah, just maybe.
Maybe
Trust me.
Lamar comes back and the team becomes healthy. Maybe the Browns allow what's his name? What's the defensive end's name? For the
Miles
Browns.
Garrett.
Maybe that Miles Garrett play quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and defensive end because that's the only thing I can see
Now
happening.
you said
Um,
Flacco, or maybe they'll get Falco come in and the rest of the replacements, and then they'll then now we scared of something. Then okay,
yeah.
all right,
Yeah, I think the Steelers gonna win a division, which means they're not gonna get their quarterback next year either.
okay. Well, because I really gave my opinion on the Rams like that, how do you feel about what I said that the Rams actually could win the Super Bowl?
I honestly think the Rams have a good chance if Stafford can stay healthy and I mean to me that's a big if. Um Stafford is how old is Stafford now?
83.
Yeah. Um
He should be around like 39.
yeah, that's a lot. I mean, everybody's not Tom Brady. Um he's been in the league a long time and I don't want to hate on. He's 37. He's been in the league a long time. He's had a few injuries. But I I think they have everything. They got two receivers. They got a great defense. They got a great running back. They have everything you need to win. Um, to be honest, the four teams that we're talking about, they're all deep playoff teams.
Mhm.
I just again, I'm gonna mimic what I said before. I'm gonna repeat it all over again. Why the fuck didn't you get a quarterback? Because Stafford has maybe another year after this, maybe two.
Well, I mean, they did win the Super Bowl with him. I mean, they did win the whole thing with him.
I get that. I get all that, and that sounds good. But like, let's call a spade a spade. He's 38. He's 37, going on 38. Um, you needed his replacement in this draft to move forward. You
Just
go and
let you
get
know.
Devontae Adams. You know what I mean?
I,
Like
I just want you to know, me and Matthew Stafford are the same age, and I'm feeling good, baby. You better watch out, okay?
you, you don't have
Ha!
275-pound men trying to tackle you every Sunday. You know what I
That's a
mean?
fact.
Like
That's a fact. Okay.
I,
Cool. All right.
I just think it's a bad management. Like they've managed everything else so well.
All right. Cool. All right. Cool. Let's move on. The Commanders. I'm really curious. What do you think about the Commanders?
I think the Commanders are a fantastic organization. I think they did everything necessary to make sure Jaden Daniels didn't have a sophomore slump, except for get that fucking running back. Um, they beefed up an offensive line. They gave him more offensive weapons. They put some players on defense. They are doing everything they can do, considering you have the Super Bowl champions who beat you in the NFC Championship last year in your division. And everyone, it seemed like almost every team was in the offseason was making good moves. So I don't know if there was a better running back out there for them to get, but that's the only weakness. But then again, like when you have a mobile quarterback like Jaden Daniels, maybe you're
Mhm.
not as concerned with running game as you, yeah, I mean, as you are with offensive linemen to keep him upright. You know what I mean, like
Right.
I really like this team. I think they are going to have a deep. They're going to make it past the first round. They'll probably die in the second round of playoffs because they don't have that, that safety net for him with a running back. They need a pass catching running back. Maybe a DeAndre Swift would have been perfect. Like that would have put this team over the top. They would have been the team to beat if they did that.
Um, I wouldn't go that far. Now, I think this is just like you said. They'll lose in like the second round. I think this team is a good example of you can be better and not in your record or how far you went may not be the same. Are they going to be 11-5 in the NFC Championship game? No. Do I think they have a better roster this year? Yes. Do I think they're building something special? Yes. I think they're more than just a running back away. I think they are another team who needs two pass rushers to really compete, um and probably another corner. I think those three positions are going to be what it is that they need to really take a step. Um, you know what I mean? Like I think I don't overreact on whatever it is that they do this year because I really do think come next year, um, out of all their team is going to be deeper and they're going to be better at the positions where you need to be better at. That's really what I feel. Okay. And finally on this list, we got the Packers, who also, I'll go first on this one, who also can win the Super Bowl this year. Um, I really like the Packers. I like what they're doing. Don't love that they lost to the Browns. I'm gonna be honest with you. That I was like, well, what the hell y'all doing with this? Like, I didn't get that move at all. But I really like the Packers. I like their upside. I like that they're good everywhere. I like that they're deep everywhere, and I like that they're that they do stand out at very important positions. They check the boxes. I just want to see them play to their upside, but we've seen their downside. Maybe that wakes them up, and we don't ever see it again, or maybe it's a trend. You know what I mean? Because the Browns they're not good, but that defense will expose you. That defense over there in Cleveland will expose you. So, um, just wanted to, I just want to see them continue to answer questions that weren't really there at the beginning of the year. You know what I mean? So that's it. But I'm very high on the Packers. Very, very high.
I'm very high on the Packers too. I thought, like I've been high on Jordan Love since the beginning. I said he was going to be like I think Green Bay has this quarterback rotation down. They in my lifetime they have not had down quarterback play. They went from Favre to Rodgers and now Love.
Yeah. Yeah.
Three-time MVP, three-time MVP, and I think Jordan Love has what it takes. The difference between Jordan Love and the other two guys is they both Favre and Rodgers had phenomenal receivers to also um play with, and Jordan Love has yet to play with a receiver of that caliber.
You know, I just thought
Um,
about something. I thought about that means the Packers have had a great quarterback since 1992.
yeah, that like I
Continue.
said,
Continue.
I think they missed their opportunity. They should have gotten him the receiver he needs, and they didn't. They have a very good receiving core. I'm not going to say great. They have a very good receiving core. They're very serviceable. And when they didn't get that receiver, they went out and got Michael Parsons to make up for it. So he's going to get more opportunity on the back end. They got Michael Parsons late. They gave up a lot to get him. He's still learning the defense. I think it was like week 2 or week 3 when he recorded his first sack, but it's also because he doesn't know every defensive package. When you get someone the week before the season starts, like he's just going on pure talent. You mean like
Okay.
he was cold. I like everything they did. I think they are a Super Bowl contender. Um I I mean, they did the Commanders dirty that first week. They
Hmm.
did them dirty, and it kind of it did. I don't want to say exposed, but like Micah Parsons knows how the Commanders play. He played them twice last year, and then they have the other pass rushers on the other side. Like Micah's just going to get better week to week. Right now, they're not. They're. I think they had a bye week, so they're a week behind everybody else. But they're going to be something to be afraid of coming up. Like it's going to be a tough game for a lot of these teams when they meet the Packers.
So one thing I know, and we'll pretty much close this out here. One thing I do know, Eagles, the Rams and the Packers are coming for that ass. Okay, and trust me, they want to see you. Let's see what you got. Let's see what you got coming up next. And
Well, I
with
mean
that said, okay, go ahead.
that's a fact. Like the Eagles are sitting pretty at the top. I don't know if Sirianni's going to take over play calling. Something has to change because if I'm the Eagles, I mean, you're not paying all these superstars to just be okay. I mean, like you have a lot of teams, and don't forget the Buccaneers. Like when they get healthy, they're going to be dangerous. And then you have other teams coming up in the ranks too. Like it's not losing to the Giants isn't all right. We lost to a rival like that to me. Like that game in itself isn't that important. But the fact that you lost to a terrible team, it's going to it's going to put a lot of fire underneath a lot of teams' asses to come after you. Like, and both games against Dallas were closer than they should have been. Like, they're
They
clearly
played Dallas
not
once.
who
They
they were
played Dallas
last year.
once.
They played Dallas once. I thought they played them twice.
They played once this year so far.
Okay, but it's if I had to pick, I think the Packers are going to do better than the than the Rams. Mike is going to get better every week, which is also going to elevate everybody else on that defensive line. The only problem I have is the Rams have a much better receiving core. Much better receiving core. Maybe the Packers can make a trade, or maybe they could pick up someone because I feel like they're down a wide receiver too.
Who are you talking about?
The uh the Packers.
Romeo Dobbs, Golden's there. I don't know. It's possible. It's possible, but that's all right, brother. We'll get to that. We'll get to that next episode because we're gonna wrap this up. It's getting late over here. So with that said, you can catch the full episodes on Spotify and on YouTube. You already know our Reels game is going crazy on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. We getting there, yo. We getting there, y'all. And with that said, this was a really fun episode. It don't even honestly it really don't feel as late as it actually is. But it was a fun episode to film. Even with all that said, somehow I still got to tell you, sorry, you don't know football, man. I'm sorry, man. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to. It
Oh my
had to be
god.
said. It had to be said. I appreciate you. Got any parting words for us before we go?
Oh man, listen. Fuck Matthew Stafford.
What's up
Fuck Joe Burrow.
what's up with you,
You know what I
Matthew
mean?
Stafford?
I no, it's not Matthew Stafford. It's Matthew Stafford fans who want to pretend like this guy was in
Always
that
here.
conversation his whole
Always
career.
here. No, he was
No,
not.
he was never. He is like he's an opportunist. I'll say that. I don't have beef with him personally. I'm proud of his ability and him winning the Super Bowl finally. He stole one from golf. But I just think that Lamar Jackson is great and my fucking Ravens let him down. All right, we'll be back when he gets healthy. But why the fuck couldn't we get another pass rush? We got all these fucking
I
cornerbacks
told
and
you that.
we
You sound like me now.
75
Listen,
cornerbacks.
you
Why do
should
we
be
have so many
scared. You
cornerbacks?
should be scared because now you sound like me. Now you sound like me. You see, you should be scared right now because
We
that
should have
was the
got
one thing I said. I don't know how I feel about that, but you need to.
yeah
You'll figure
it,
it out
it,
next time, man. All right, good brother. Just like Martin said, I'm gonna see you when I see you. Peace.